Hello, Teresa Phelps Martin, bringing you a special bonus, if you will, for the Taurus New Moon that is happening on May 19th, 2023. I will be offering insights for this moon based on where I am, which is Louisville, Kentucky, and that energy that's if you want to get really specific, what you want to do is adjust for your time zone, your location, and you look at your chart, okay? This is a beautiful moon. We just came through, they're all beautiful. The fact that the moon keeps moving forward is a beautiful thing, right? So, but this moon is in Taurus. It shows us it's the first lunar cycle where the lunar cycle is flipped, where the full moon comes before the new moon. About 4 years ago, I was losing my mind, that lunacy of the moon, because I noticed this signature happening after the Gemini eclipse. This was like 2019. 2019, right before 2020. And I just knew something big was happening. I knew something big was happening, but I couldn't find any answers. And so here we are again. Eclipses will do that. Sorry, my hip is not happy, so I have to keep moving. The eclipses will keep asking us to shake things up. And we just had the Aries eclipse, and then we had the Scorpio full moon eclipse that happened on Oaks Day 2 weeks ago on Friday. Lots of things were asked to be released, and I'm wondering what you've asked or what you've seen fall away. And maybe it's been really, really hard and painful. And if so, my heart beats with you, so your heart doesn't have to beat alone. And I just wanted to pause and breathe for those people that are being challenged by life circumstances at the moment. That eclipse asked for certain things to fall away, and sometimes it's not easy when things fall away. And yet new things can be born. New things can come alive. New things can surface. And so this Taurus new moon is always a new beginning, but it's the first new moon since that eclipse cycle. It is the new moon. It's at 28 degrees Taurus, which matters to me. It's in a good relationship with my Mercury and my Sun and my Venus and my Vesta. So anyhow, that's enough about me. But the moon in Taurus is exalted. So that means the moon loves being there. It's just kind of this place of exalted means where the energy has reached its potential. So Taurus, we can get most astrologers that have taught me in books I read, we hear about how Taurus energy is the senses. To me, it's like this embodiment that all earth signs to me are about the embodiment, but Taurus especially. Because if we look, it's the second zodiacal sign after Aries, which is really that spark of life. And so Taurus is the container, right? It rules the throat. It rules this ability to communicate what that sacred spark within is pulsating, how it wants to create life, right? So we have this unique opportunity to be human beings on a rock that spins around a sun, and we continue to advance technology, and our brains continue to expand. I mean, that's like radical on some level, that we have this gift of growth. But there's a loyalty. The moon is so loyal to the earth. Billions of years, consistent, loyal, helping to create the movement on water with dirt and soil that we can give shape to things, right? Imagine building those pyramids, right? With sand and soil, with earth, substance of the earth and water. And this profound understanding. I don't want to get into the like pain and suffering that happened in building the pyramids, because that was the state of affairs at the time. But in Egypt, these pyramids being built was a timing of really not having any other technology than the skies above and our experience on earth. So that Taurus energy is about putting form around an idea, the spark of insight, of passion, of enthusiasm, and giving it shape and form. So when the moon comes here, it's really about celebrating like what there is, like the goodness, the ease of things that are available to us in our life. Like, what can you drop into with ease? It is a moon that doesn't have any harsh energy around it. Mercury's direct. The only planet that's retrograde at the moment is Pluto, but it's retrograde in that early stage of Aquarius that we've only been experiencing since March. So it's still really, really new and fresh, and almost maybe a little bit welcome. It'll hit hard in June when Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn. But when it retrogrades back into Capricorn, it's going to be this new moon will continue to trine, which makes it easy. And this new moon is carrying this signature of the sun moving into a trine with Pluto, which is the sun and Pluto. Pluto's like the furthest planet away from the sun. It's in the darkness. It's what creates the transformation and the change. And it's in a supportive relationship. And that underlining signature is like trusting the unfolding, trusting what's there, trusting what you're to become, what is to become. But then this moon is also in a sweet relationship with Neptune, which is about that intuition, that ability to get into the depths of your essence, your soul, and give form and shape to what it is that the soul is here to come and evolve. And that signature right there, to me, requested this moment to talk just about the moon and its lunar cycle. So we have this moon that it's not about rushing and making things happen. Taurus likes to go slow. Taurus energy does not like change. It likes to be loyal. I'm here. I'm with you. When Taurus energy is really kind of swung the other way, it's stubborn. It won't. It's so fixated on something, it can't see anything else. So be mindful of that and give yourself permission. Like maybe you know your pattern, right? Maybe you know your pattern. Like sometimes I feel like my enthusiasm gets an like desire for potential can be intimidating to others. Actually, I've been told that by a few people. But that's still who I am. And so if it rattles and turns somebody off, then I know that it wasn't meant to be. And that's a big new narrative. Almost like this new moon is almost asking us to really ground into what this new storyline is going to be. And to trust our intuition, to trust that we're being guided. I've had some beautiful conversations with others about how that connection to their guides is so powerful. I have this dream of joining my teacher in Esalen as she helps others connect to their guides. It's just not going to happen this June. And so this moon is going to carry forward this energy. The moon actually will leap ahead of the sun. So the sun is actually, it's going to feel like the sun is slowing your energy of creating intentionality around this moon. So know that you have time to create those intentions that to manifest. And trust that, sometimes the manifestation process is slow, right? But the sun will enter into Gemini, and the moon will already have been there. Like the moon will already be there, okay? And so that first quarter moon happens, when the moon is in Virgo. And the moon will be in Virgo between, that first quarter moon is probably going to happen around, oh, it is going to happen. I'm so smart. I love having the infirmaries around me on May 27th. So just know that you have this energy. The sun is going to, on some level, I'd wait for the insight of what Mars opposing Pluto is going to ignite. But what do you really need to transform? What really needs to shift? How can you change the way you're responsible for your life, but you can respond to the opportunity of life? That's big. I feel like I should even write that down. You're responsible for life because you get to respond to the opportunity of life. And in those opportunities, there are moments where that ability to live will feel threatened, challenged, undermined. So feel this ability to ground into that you don't have to do it alone, that there's this sweet energy of the sun sextiling Neptune that's still with us with this new moon. And our guides, our intuition, our creativity, our ability to trust in our soul. And as we trust in our soul, we can trust in the movement forward. Okay? And trust that you are taking grounded action into that life that you want to live, that you have an opportunity, an availability if you're willing to collaborate. Because that's what Gemini, the signature of Gemini is all about. That will be being posted soon. So that first square of Virgo, that first challenge that we're going to face, those challenges are what give things life. They give it, right? It creates the friction. The friction is what helps us give substance. And so in Virgo, we're looking at this idea of the sun will be in Gemini by then. So this idea of like, okay, we want to give form to something. Now, how are we articulating that? And how is that really going to be of service? Okay. And how is that really going to be of service? Are we analyzing to the point and just being too curious that we're not getting anything done? Or can we work on collaborating, of recognizing that we're here to be of support to one another, that we're here to bring forward that greater connection? The moon, when it's in Virgo, it will square the sun that will then later oppose Neptune. So realizing that that's going to be an important quality. The moon will square the sun. It will trine Uranus. Then it will trine the North Node. So here we go. We're moving forward. It will trine Jupiter, right? Sorry, I got really excited for a moment because I can't believe I'm able to figure this out. It'll trine Jupiter right before it's a square. So there's all these really strong and positive influences around this first square. Okay. But then it's going to oppose right before, it'll probably be the last aspect that the moon makes, is that it's going to oppose Neptune. It'll oppose Saturn. Are you really responding to the opportunity to live? And then it's going to oppose Neptune. Are you trusting in the guidance? This is kind of an interesting unfolding, but I'm overthinking it, but this is what I do. This is what gets me excited. And all of this is going to lead us into that full moon that's going to happen on June 3rd, like almost June 4th, like June 3rd around 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So that full moon that happens late at night is really going to be like there's there's a faith, there's a belief. Sagittarius, the full moon is when the sun is in Gemini and the moon is in Sagittarius. So when we have this lunar reversal like this, I feel like the full moon is going to expose to us really what we're believing in. Are we believing that we can trust in the unfolding? Are we believing in the moon's loyalty to the earth? Are we believing in our ability to persevere even through crazy challenges? Sometimes I think we're like in our own industrial revolution, and I think about how people operated during the industrial revolution when these rapid changes were happening, plus like a new century, like whoa, with no technology, right? But this rapid, like new abundance, really, like it's why we're here. We're in our own revolution of some sort, obviously, we think we know that. And that, what are we believing in? Are we believing that we're the only ones creating it? Or are we believing that there's an expansive network of support? I feel like I have to say this, even though I'm not really somebody who falls into the galactic center, but we're in this square with Neptune in the galactic center. I mean, it's just, I can't believe I'm talking about this right now, because this is way, like when I hear people talk about it, I tend to shut down. But it's, the download is really, really strong that we need to be trusting in what we can't, what is unseen. That there's so much more. It's not about aliens and all that, but there's a loving, generative energy available to us. And can we wake up to it? Okay, because that's going to be the signature that follows this full moon. And it's carrying us right into the first day of summer. And then that last quarter moon will be in Pisces, and that will happen on June 10th. And so it's really about this sort of like this dissolving, right? Because can we take what we've learned and what we're trusting to manifest with this Taurus moon? Can we truly allow it to be of service? And as it's of service, interesting, when that moon is in Virgo and it's opposing Neptune, right? That first quarter moon, it's going to be in a trine with it's going to be in a really loving and auspicious relationship with this new moon cycle, right? So it's this theme of intuition and guidance and what are we believing in and what are we trusting in is really strong, which is why I wanted to bring this to you. So if this resonates to help you work with the lunar cycle, I'm so delighted. I just was motivated, inspired, and kind of mandated. My guides really wanted me to put this forward for you. And as I'm putting it forward, so many downloads are coming through. This lunar reversal that is being initiated with this new moon, I do not know off the top of my head. It'll shift. It will shift. We're about to have that nodal shift. There's just a lot of shifts. So as things shift, are you still clinging? Right? That Taurus energy of not willing to allow for change? Or can you rise up to the opportunity to live in this moment? Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. But can you drop into what is available to you? And fear is always available, right? Fear is always available. It is always available to you to feel separate and alone. It's there just as much as the opportunity to feel seen, valued, and supported. So with this Taurus moon, can you put energy around your own potential, your own talents? That's the resource that your soul's here to bring, your talents, your gifts. And if you bring them forward, can you allow them to blossom? Can you allow them to awaken and bloom and come forward? Can you stand steady in that potentiality? So if you are somebody who likes to create a lunar ritual, I'm going to offer you this. It is always really powerful to lean back. Finding that way to rest your bones into a support. I mean, yes, would it be amazing to be cradled by your lover who adores you and thinks you're amazing? Absolutely, but the earth adores you and thinks you're amazing. Find other ways to make that connection outside of what's been barked at us, and drop into it, anchor in to the moment of what is available to you. Go through those five senses, right? That practice of see five things, hear four things, smell three things, see five things, feel four things, smell three things, taste two things, eyes, ears, nose, throat, feel. I guess I did it all. And then just breathe into that moment. So it's so funny. I get tripped up in this like really trending thing, but go through your senses. Just see something, hear something, feel something, taste something. Trust, 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 trust. So one of my preferred practices is to be lying on the earth this time of year, where there's a lushness, the bugs aren't too bad yet. There's this beauty of light, right? As we're moving into the longest day. And that you can just feel into resting the bones of your beings, where you can feel almost like a magnetic pull to what is available to you, and working from that energy. And that working from that energy is the working part is actually where you lean in more, you listen a little more. You're not chasing. You're not chasing the guidance. You're not chasing the vision. You're not chasing after, right? You're actually receiving. You're receiving this support. And if you can be in that place for a period of time, maybe spray some, I don't know, like be creative here. This needs to be yours. Have agency over this. But then take the time to set then your lunar intentions from that space, not from the ego space, not the one that's hungry for more, 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 but the one that's trusting in the unfolding and that commitment to working with the unfolding of doing your part, right? That's that loyalty, the loyalty to your soul, the loyalty to your ancestors, the legacy you've inherited, which you are allowed to grow beyond. And what are you providing for the future, right? Those that are going to follow, the generations yet to be. And then when that full moon arises, can you dance in the light and come back to that practice of resting in the earth's lush soil and welcoming and calling in that guidance, that support, praying, all the same thing, right? But listening and receiving it. Acknowledge the messages along the way, the signs, the coincidences that just keep appearing for you. Because this moon, I can't believe I'm all up in this moon in Taurus and feeling this way right now. However, it's clearly needed. That you can be in that knowing that in all the like challenging things we've had, the heavens are asking us to trust in that guidance and to be with it in a way that we can acknowledge when that fear and that separateness and that loneliness or that anger or that disdain, that uncertainty can devour us. And then also feeling that point at which then you can move in the direction towards your desires, right? Carrying the wisdom. This moon has a lot of wisdom to it. So open yourself to the wisdom. Open yourself to that belief in the prosperity of this life. If you're still with me, I appreciate you. I would love to hear your viewpoint, like what your reflection is. What comes to you? What's you're inspired by? And how you feel you can utilize this energy to guide you forward. I will be opening my schedule for soul sessions, which are really conversations to support your emotional well-being, your body, your mind, your heart, and soul, that encourage you and remind you and return you to your center, to your soul's promise. We can utilize your chart. We also don't have to. But they will be opening up. I'm just going to keep them as one things unless you have something specific you want to work towards. I will be, when I open my schedule, it'll be official. I will have my Master's of Science, which is kind of funny because I have a Bachelor of Arts and a Master of Science in mental health clinical counseling. I have 20 years of an active yoga professional, of teaching wisdom of the body, mind, and soul in multiple environments. And so soul sessions are kind of at the intersection of that. And they allow for a little more freedom because there's no insurance involved. They allow for creativity, though they are evidence-based. So much, if you've worked with me before as a coach, so much of what we've done is now being scientifically demonstrated. And I knew it worked because I see so many of you thriving. And it's such a gift. It is such a gift. So from my heart to yours, may you feel the great depth and expansive benevolence, the kindness, the gentleness of this moon. And may the unfolding help lift you up for the highest good. And check out the energetic signature to know how to navigate through Gemini season. Yours truly, Gemini herself. I love it. I adore it. It's one of my strengths. And so until next time, be well, be true, be real, and be so fully you.